Catholic High School? How many people are first-time students coming in or representing a first-time student? Higher, raise that hand higher. Okay, how many repeating? How many got? Oh, okay. We have about, let's say 30% of the student body is legacy students, and somewhat around an equal number is siblings of some kind. So sometimes, usually in the same year, sometimes a couple years out, so it's kind of fun. My name is Mark Crowley. I'm the president here at Lake Catholic. We thought we'd start here with prayer. And this is actually, these are words that could be sung. So I've been egged on to do that. Feel free to join me. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Make me a channel of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me bring your love. Where there is injury, your pardon, Lord. And where there's doubt, true faith in you. Make me a channel of your peace. Where there's despair in life, let me bring hope. Where there is darkness, only light. And where there's sadness, ever joy. O Master, grant that I may never seek so much to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love with all my soul. Make me a channel of your peace. For it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, in giving to all men that we receive, and in dying that we're born to eternal life. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. So tonight, one of the people that's missing is our principal, Mr. Charlie Fuller. He had to take care of his son, and something that came up. So I'll be taking his slides. Don't judge me when I get through them, please. Also covering some things tonight is Kelly Turner, who is our Dean of Academics. Me, Allison Ellis, who is our campus minister. And we'll discuss a number of the spiritual life and service opportunities. Dr. Richard Smith, Director of Innovation and Technology, is hiding back there. One of the things that you'll see with us is we have 2 microphones on, one so you can hear us, and then we're also live streaming the meeting, similar to what we'll be doing with our simultaneous learning. So that way people who are watching online can see us as well. And then Emma Maloney, who probably is the one person everybody in this room has talked to at one time or another, or at least emailed. She's our Director of Admissions. Kelly?
Okay, thanks. So I'm going to go over a couple of things just about kind of the day-to-day student life at Lake Catholic. We have a variety of bell schedules that we use. This chart will be available for the students in their student handbook when they get that on the first day of school. It's also on our website. I believe there's a, there we go, bigger shot of just our regular school day. First period starts at 8 o'clock. We go to 3:05, and you can just kind of see we go first period and then homeroom and then straight through 2nd through 9th. Classes about 42 minutes each. And then some of the other schedules that you'll see in that grid, we have special schedules for if we have Mass, different times if we have Mass here, or if we have Mass at St. John Vianney, if we have assemblies in the morning or the afternoon, early dismissal, so a lot of just different variety of schedules that we have. And we'll always have these posted for students and let them know in advance which schedule we'll be following for that day. Just going to also give you kind of an overview of our grading scale and our credits for graduation. I'm sure you may have seen this in some communication before when you were looking at Lake Catholic and when you were registering. We'd just like to point this out. Sometimes this is a little bit of a transition for students coming to Lake Catholic, whether they're coming from an 8th grade private school or public school. The grading scale might be a little bit different. So make sure the students just kind of take a look so that they know what they are expected here at Lake Catholic. And also with the credits, this is different from the public schools and even some other Catholic high schools of what we require. Religion, English, math, 4 credits, that means 4 years. So we will have students in those classes every year here at Lake Catholic. Science and social studies, we require 3. Always recommend and encourage, if you want to try, do it for 4 years. And then we have the language, fine and performing arts, PE health. We have a semester of financial literacy that students take as a junior or senior, and then 2.5 credits for electives. So students get to choose different courses that they want to take. I think most of us probably here are freshman parents. Your schedules, unfortunately, are pretty set. There's a little bit of room for you to choose maybe some electives. Some of you might be trying a world language as a freshman. And that's because that PE and health are taken as a freshman, PE also taken as a sophomore. So once those credits are taken, then your junior or senior year, you have a little bit more room in your schedule for some of those electives. School supplies is always a big question. Again, different coming from grade school to high school. I know grade schools, you typically get a sheet that has everything listed. You need this, this, and this, which I know I like as a parent so that I know, okay, this is exactly what my kid needs for the first day of school. However, high school is a little bit different. We don't have any standard set of school supplies. Instead, that first day of class, the teachers will tell the students what they need. For example, they might, some teachers might prefer a binder, where others might be all on the Chromebook. Some teachers may not have a preference. So when you're coming for your first day of school, if you're going to be here in person, my recommendation is bring some sort of notebook and folder and a writing utensil so that you can jot down what you might need. Teachers will also be giving you policy sheets or syllabus that will have that information on it as well. Gym clothes, those can be purchased in the Spirit store, and then it is also recommended that you bring like a separate gym bag so that you can tote that to and from gym class. And then also just want to introduce to you our guidance staff. We have 2 guidance counselors that we split the alphabet. So Mrs. Lisa Mathias, she is the guidance counselor for students with last names A through L. And then Mrs. Patty Robleski, she has students with last names M through Z. They are the students' go-to person if there's an issue with class, issues with schedules, which students are going to them right now with questions about their schedule, so they can help with that. Basically anything, if a student has a concern, a question, doesn't know where to go, they can always go to their counselor. A lot of times the counselors are really great at kind of facilitating then problem solving with the students, especially if there's an issue in class. They can help facilitate that conversation with the teacher, with the parents, to try to help resolve any issues. And then we have a new counselor joining us this year, Miss Lindsay Estritis. She will have kind of a unique role in the guidance where, notice she doesn't have any assigned students by the alphabet, but instead she's going to be kind of a counselor that oversees the department. She'll be coordinating like our special ed program with our intervention specialists, so coordinating a lot of things with those students. And she also will be just a really great person that students can go to at any time if the other counselors are not available. And then those last 2 names, Mr. Morton and Ms. Horsek, are intervention specialists. So they work with students and they are available for help, available for tutoring. They also will schedule time in the day during study halls when those students, they just go directly to their rooms, work with them. If you're seeing them for one of your study halls, they will also kind of be that point person between the students and the teachers and the parents, and just try to help coordinate all of that. All right, so I will now turn it over to Mr. Crowley to talk about the uniform.
All right, so one of the things we did last year was to change our uniform policy, and one of the things that Mr. Fuller did was talk to, he had a committee of faculty who basically was, the conversation was, what is it that you'd like to see and how can you help us reinforce this so this is happening? So what you see in the green, hopefully you see the color coding of green and gray. Start to get used to that. You'll be seeing a lot of it. Boys will have green or gray polos. Everything as far as the tops there, from the polos and the sweaters and the polos or overs, those are all available in the bookstore. In fact, that's the only place you get them because they are Lake Catholic specific wear. So the boys are wearing green or gray polos, a sweater or a pullover. Girls the same. The difference is then on Mass Day, where the boys would wear a white shirt and tie, and the girls would wear a white blouse. The bottoms, boys are wearing khakis. Girls have the option of khakis, black pants, or skirts. And really the same thing as far as on Mass Day, so what's changing is the tops. On one of the things we kept talking about was the feet. What do you wear on your feet? And Charlie ended up opting for the idea of just your choice. Let your spirit shine, perhaps. But if it shines too brightly, he may pull you in the office and say, hey, try something else. But the idea is to allow the kids to wear stuff that's comfortable, so they're not necessarily forced to find some kind of pair of shoe that may or may not be available to them in their size. And so it's gone very well. I mean, the kids have been they've had a lot of fun, but they've also been very respectful, and it's nothing too crazy, but they're very comfortable because they're walking around all day. The only difference then on Mass Day is that you would have dress shoes. That's the one thing that we would ask for when that happens. And then the other parts of the uniform policy, jewelry and makeup must be appropriate for a school environment. It's one of those things where we'll know it once you see it. So the idea is to just be limited in that regard. One thing that we did recently change is earrings. You do see the second bullet there that stud earrings are available for boys. In general, no more than 3 piercings in the ear. No other piercing is permissible. So basically it's happening on your ears. And then multiple bracelets and necklaces are really considered inappropriate. A lot of it is just part of the whole idea of the uniform is just to make sure everybody's focused on who they are as a person, not necessarily what they're wearing. And so that's one of the things that we use to reinforce that kind of point of view. Faded haircuts or colors, visible tattoos are not permitted. And then men's haircuts must be off the collar. And this is fun, we had to add this in. I've actually shared this with my youngest son, who now does use a man bun, that he would not be able to come to Lake Catholic because no man buns are allowed. Your hair must be your hair, no hiding it. So. AVI is the food service company that we've been using since the 17-18 school year. And when you go through the typical menu, there's some kind of signature entree that the kids would have. There is a grill station that has some kinds of sandwiches, pizzas there, and a salad bar. You can also eat at the Cougar Cafe, which is right out here in the atrium, which you would be able to go there as well. They will be open at 7:30 in the morning, and they'll be closed at about 12:30. So they will have breakfast type food. They will have some things like the burritos, the muffins, smoothies, and coffees there if the kids prefer that. This year, one of the things, the protocols that AVI is using, and we're trying to use even with pregame meals and things, everything's self-serve. It's either self-serve, off the line, where the things are boxed or wrapped. So the sandwiches will be wrapped, pizza will be put in boxes, salads will be pre-made. So in other words, the kids aren't going in and touching other food. You're just grabbing the food that you need. There is still an entree line where these servers will serve you. So whatever the main entree is for the day, there is somebody there who's serving it just to the student. Free and reduced lunch is still available as an option as well. And one of the things that we're getting some details on, there's a new rep from AVI who's runs the district. But one of the things you have the ability to do is to upload online or at the cashier, at the cafe or in the cafeteria, put some money in the account so the kids can just come through, punch their student ID number in, and then they get, it takes it. It's kind of like a lunch card at school, in college. It's just me. Yep. I'm doing this one. Okay. So lunch and study hall. Lunch periods are from 4th and 7th, so we have 9 periods throughout the day, and starting with 4th is when when the food is being served in the cafeteria. And again, as I mentioned, the students can go to the cafe if they want for lunch options. Anytime they're leaving, like the study hall you'll see here or the cafeteria, there's always a moderator there. One of the things that we'll just ask them to do is sign out so that we know if they're eating in the cafeteria and they're going to go to the cafe, they just sign out and I'll let them know. No food or drink, though, is permitted beyond the cafe or the cafeteria. We just keep everything contained in there. And then study halls, they do get assigned to you. You picked one as part of the registration process, and then we've worked it into your schedule so you know where it is, or what period it is, and also what room it is in. One of the things that we do in the media center is we call it a quiet study. Part of the idea is to be able to sign up for there if you really need to go in and study. Because there's typically some conversation in a study hall, whether it be in the cafeteria or the atrium. But so if you're really looking to kind of just get away from everybody, there is an opportunity to sign up for quiet study in the media center. And then, as I mentioned, anytime you're leaving one of those rooms, you need to just get permission from the teacher, sign off, and then sign back in when you come in. And now, Allison Ellis.
My name is Allison Ellis, and I'm the campus minister here at Lake Catholic. And one thing that we want to do as soon as our students are freshmen here is get them involved as much as possible in campus ministry. Campus ministry is something that they did not have in K through 8th grade. It's new to high schools, basically. So we want to get the students as involved as they can freshman year, and then just build on that as we go up through senior year. So how can freshmen get involved in campus ministry? There's a ton of ways. And actually, they all get to have me as their freshman religion teacher, so I'm going to make sure they get involved in campus ministry this year. So that's great. That I'll get to know all their names and maybe what they're interested in. So I'm really looking forward to that. The first thing up there is the freshman class retreat. There's more about this actually, I have a whole slide on it, so we'll get there soon. The second thing that we have up there is Cougars for Social Justice. If your child is at all interested in social justice issues, this would be it's kind of a club for your child. We meet every Tuesday in the ministry office during all of the lunches. So what they do is they eat their lunch in the cafeteria, and then they sign out of the cafeteria about halfway through the period. Our lunches are very long, if you haven't figured that out. They're the full 42 minutes. So there's plenty of time for them to eat for like 20 of those minutes, and then come and join in the Cougars for Social Justice meetings. So we'll begin those about halfway through the lunch period. It's learning, there's a bunch of activities that are maybe outside of school or during school that they could be involved in. That's a great one if you're interested in social justice. The next one we have up there is a Chaplet of Divine Mercy. That is a prayer. If you aren't familiar with what the chaplet is, it is, if you know the rosary, it's just a much shorter version of the rosary. So we pray it every Wednesday at 7:45 in the chapel. So this year they could not show up probably at 7:45 and get their temperature checked and be back in the chapel at 7:45. So if they would like to pray the Chaplet of Divine Mercy, maybe have them come at like 7:30 and get back to the chapel if they would like to pray with us. Altar servers. We always need altar servers for Mass. We have Mass about at least once a month. We have Mass every single month throughout the school year, and we always need altar servers. So if your child is interested in that, please let me know. Then we have meal ministry. Feed My Lambs meal ministry is the last Tuesday of every month at 3:05. So right after school, they just come to the ministry office and we make a hot meal for Project Hope Homeless Shelter, which is out in Paynesville. And then we make about 150 sandwiches, and we take those down to St. Malachy, down on West 25th. So we try to bookend maybe like both ends of our community. So we do Paynesville all the way down to West 25th area. And that's a great one. Kids really like coming to meal ministry. It'll help them learn how to cook, so that's good for you. And they enjoy making the sandwiches as well. Lunchtime prayer. At any time, any student in our building, after they eat their lunch, are welcome to excuse themselves, sign out of the cafeteria, excuse themselves, and walk to the chapel. We would prefer them be by themselves. It shouldn't be a hangout. Maybe one of their closest friends, and we wouldn't want them like sitting next to each other in the chapel. But if they would like to go and pray during lunch or sit in silence in the chapel, it's really just a nice opportunity to take a break throughout your day. These kids lead very, very busy lives. So at any time, if they would like to go to the chapel and pray, they're more than welcome to do that. And then faith and food is another favorite one. First of all, we bring snacks, so they really like that one a lot. And then we also, it's every Thursday, and the area youth ministers actually come and help lead faith and food, and they talk about any hot topic in the Catholic Church. So at some point, I'm sure they'll be talking about COVID. I'm sure they talk about abortion. They might talk about anything that the students might want to talk about in a much more relaxed setting than a classroom. And it's great. The kids really like that one. Eucharistic adoration every Friday in the chapel. Again, they sign out from lunch and they go and sit with the Lord and pray. And there's always a teacher in there that's kind of supervising. And it's just another great time to take a break. It's on Fridays on purpose. It's a long week, so they can take that opportunity to just relax for a little bit and pray. All right, so those are all the ways that your child can get involved as a freshman. Okay, so I said I would get more, I went too far, to more with the freshman retreat. So the freshman retreat is coming up very soon, and that's on purpose. So the freshman retreat's purpose is to build relationships with the other freshmen. We go out to Red Oak camp, and they have a blast. They get to rock climb, they get to canoe, they have a great time just getting to know the other freshmen. And that's exactly what it's for, is to get to know everyone else that they might not have already known before they got here. It is mandatory for all in-person students. I've had parents say before, my child said that this is, if I want to go, I can go to the freshman retreat. No, you have to go to the freshman retreat. If you're in person, if you are an online learner, you are more than welcome to come to the freshman retreat. If you or your child chooses not to, and you're an online learner, we will have an alternative retreat activities for them to do for that day, because they will be out of class all day. So I have 2 dates up there, September 2nd and September 4th. So all of your children have me for religion. So my 2nd, 3rd, and 5th periods are gonna go on September 2nd. My 7th and 9th periods are gonna go on September 4th. And that was at Red Oak's request, so that they can properly clean all the things that we're using. The cost of the retreat is $30. For any of these things, if that's an issue, please let me know. We're always willing to work with anyone if that's an issue. Look for permission slips for this retreat on the first day of school. It's coming fast, and I'm only going to see your kids on the 20th, and then I think again, and not until like the 26th, and then the 28th, I believe is how the schedule works. So that's going to come up really quickly, and so I'm going to get those permission slips to them on the first day of school. All right, so be looking for those. And then so that we don't have to take 1,000 buses out to Red Oak, we're going to have you guys drop them off and pick them up for the social distancing part. If that is an issue, please let me know as well. we can work with you on that. The drop-off time will be 8 a.m., just like school, and the pickup time will be 3:05, just like school. So that everything's the same, it's just you'll be dropping them off at Red Oak Camp out in Kirtland. So if that's an issue, please let me know, we can figure something out, all right? But I did want to give you a heads up on the freshman retreat because that is coming quickly. All right, service. Again, I feel like I'm at a huge advantage because I'm going to be seeing your children every day. I will help them, or actually that's next. So the community service program is part of the freshman theology curriculum. So when I was just in the campus ministry role, I would go into the freshman classrooms one time per month to do a service project with them. So it's very easy now because I'm both. So we're going to take one Wednesday a month and do a service project together as a class. And it'll be during their theology class. And they'll do different things around the building. We won't be like going places, but different things around the building that all are service that they can do. So students will complete 10 hours of service throughout their freshman year with me. They can definitely accumulate extra hours outside of those that are required. So if your child has already done some service hours, they are like way ahead of the game. That's awesome. And I'll teach them how to log all those hours. Accumulation of hours can start the day after they graduate from 8th grade. So if they've done anything since the day after they graduated from 8th grade, those count for us. So remember them or write them down, and as soon as I get them and help them download the app, we'll just put everything on that app. And then whenever you see them, you'll say, hey, pull up your app. How many service hours do you have? And then you'll know. It's very simple. All the parents love it so far. So again, all hours are logged on that mobile serve app. If your student has a scholarship from Lake Catholic, an additional 20 hours are required each year. So I believe we let them know that, right? So we will let you know if your child has that Lake Catholic scholarship, and we'll let you know if they are required to do an extra 20 hours of service. All right? And I think there's more on that. Yes, here it is. So the service requirements. The freshmen, it's just the 10 hours in religion class with me. So it's very simple. Nothing really is expected of them outside of religion class. If they do that, they're way ahead of the game, so that's great. Sophomore year, they are going to do 15 hours to any church. Junior year, 15 hours anywhere in the community. That literally means they can do anything they want, and that is logged as community hours. And then senior year is 10 hours to Lake Catholic. Now, I know that it says the year that they're supposed to do those, they can do them anytime. So if your child already did something for a church, they are already probably halfway done with their sophomore year. Does that make sense? And if your child did service to Lake Catholic already, then that counts as their senior year. So all they have to do is turn it in. I'll take care of the rest. We just didn't want students that were turning in. So if you add it up, it's a total of 50 hours. And we had students that were like, okay, I did 4 years of volleyball camp, I'm done. And then they never really got outside of their comfort zone and went and did service outside of Lake Catholic. So we would just want to make sure that they're doing things in a bunch of different areas and really learning what that service is all for. So they record their service hours on the app. I will set all of them up with that app. It's very simple, and I know that they'll like it, and I know that you guys will like it. All they have to do is have a faculty or the community moderator approve it. It's very simple. You just write in their email address, and then it updates the master file at Lake Catholic. So it goes right to me once they do it. Is that you?
Wow. Hi, everyone. It's good to see all of you in person. Some of you I've probably never seen in person, so hello, welcome. I'm just going to talk a little bit about some of the other stuff we have to offer. I know so many of you and your families are already involved in sports, clubs, performing arts. How many of you have a student in a fall sport? Marching band? Performing arts of any other sort that are coming up quick? Clubs? That's fine, you don't know about those ones yet. So we have over 20 sports available. One thing I do want to encourage is that you try something new. It doesn't matter if your child has never played a sport. Now's the time to try it. They could have a hidden talent. They could just want to be with their friends some extra time after school. We encourage you to get involved. We encourage your children to try something new throughout their time here. If you have questions on any of the sports, Eric Schroeder is our assistant athletic director. His email's up there. He can handle all of your questions, any information you may need, anything with final forms, all that sort of stuff. He will take care of for you. Extracurriculars. So we're going to have an activities fair within the first few weeks of school. For those of you who are virtual, we will have a virtual option available for clubs, different activities kids can get involved in. Just really a way for them to find out what is going on and what they would like to participate in. Parent involvement opportunities. So, how many parents want to get involved at Lake Catholic now that their child is here? I'm not a parent, but put your hand up, yeah. So there's no better way, I think, to get to know your kid's school than to get involved yourself. So some of you may be in the boosters, some of you may just be getting to know the teachers, but you can be a parent ambassador as well. So I coordinate the parent ambassador group. Last year we had about 6 families involved, and it was a really awesome opportunity. They helped out at open houses, different recruitment events. It's up to you how much time you're willing and able to commit. It can be as little as 1 hour helping me set up some chairs, or 10 hours throughout the year working every admissions events with me. You get to meet your kids' teachers that way. You get to meet your kids' friends. It's honestly a really great way to know the school so much better than anyone else, and also a great way to share your experience. So after the first few weeks of school, you're really gonna feel integrated into our community, and you're gonna go out and share that story with people. If you're a parent ambassador, you get to do that on kind of the next up level, which I really appreciate and is a lot of fun. We will have 2 fall open houses this year, so that's one of those things that parent ambassadors can help me out with. The date's up there, Monday, September 21st, and also Monday, November 16th. So that's how probably a lot of you came to see Lake Catholic at some point, maybe not with this kid, maybe with a prior kid, but a lot of families come through, starting, I would say, as young as 5th grade, just to start seeing the building, meeting our teachers, and knowing what we're all about. So if you want to help out with those, we will have those dates and times. Even if we are virtual, I will find a way for you to help out. So if the open house is not in person for some reason and you want to assist, we will make it happen. Student orientation. Who's excited for student orientation days? Who's excited for their kids to finally be in school? So we have, as you're all aware, a number of different days. We want to really make sure that not just our new students, all of our students are oriented to the new procedures in the building. As you can see, we have a freshman only day, a sophomore only day, a junior only day, a senior only day, just freshmen and sophomores, just juniors and seniors, and then on August 28th, all of our students who are in-person learning will be back in the building with us. So if you have questions on those days, questions about what to expect, please let me know and we will get that handled. We are asking that all of our students arrive by 7:45. We're gonna do temperature checks every morning, and if you want them to not be late for first period, they will need to be here by then. And then school itself is from 8 o'clock to 3:05. If you are a transfer student, please do not come on the freshman day unless you are a freshman. Come on the day that is assigned to your grade level, otherwise you will be very confused and alone in your classes, and it will be not fun. You must be in uniform. I know that the skirts are on back order from school bells. Ladies, you have to just wear the pants instead. There's no alternate skirt. Black or khaki until your skirt arrives, or black and khaki all year. Up to you, but you will be expected to be in that uniform. Who is using transportation, public school transportation to get here? Awesome. So if you have not yet filled out that form, please do so tonight. We're going to get all of the final paperwork we get today sent over in the morning to those public school districts. Menor, Willoughby, Eastlake, Painesville, Riverside, Kirtland, all those forms are out there. That public school district will then contact you about the route, time, things like that. If you need to use Lake Catholic transportation, the forms are also out there, and then we will contact you about route, time, pickup, things like that. That was all I had. That was quick. Oh, Dr. Smith's gonna fill you in on our Chromebook policies. He was back over there recording.
I was the man behind the curtain. Well, first of all, everyone, welcome home. Thanks for sending your students here. I look forward to getting to know them. I'm more than just the mean guy that doesn't let them use their Chromebook. Don't let them fool you into that, okay? What we really kind of focus in on is how to use technology in a great way as a learning tool, and that's our focus. So one of the things that we need your help with reinforcing with the students is when they get their Chromebooks, that it is a learning tool. So they will not be able to play a whole lot of games. They're not going to be able to stream anything, really. They're going to be there for learning, pieces for learning. Now, that being said, we do have a little bit of an issue. There's a little bit of a land grab for technology devices, as you can imagine right now. So the freshmen have a Chromebook coming, but it will not be here until about mid to late September, unfortunately. So Mrs. Turner sent out a survey to see who we can contact. We'll be making those contacts with you in the coming week to see what we can do to hook you up with a loaner device if it's an absolute need. We only have a few devices available, so really if you have a home computer or a device that you can learn from in the temporary, all right, but you, please let us know. We will have one though to you by the end of September at the very latest. So one of the things that we're going to do though is probably tonight you're going to get your Google logon. So if you go home, get on your device and you can work within Chrome, then your students should be able to log into their email tonight. By Monday, they're going to get an email from me saying, we're going to try and get you logged on. I'm going to give you a little orientation on how to learn online, and we would like everyone to give it a shot, even if you're coming in person, just so that you know how to turn in assignments, get things prepared for yourself as you're getting ready to learn this year. We use GoGuardian as our security device for students. It's child safe, it does not share information, and it allows the teachers to help keep control of the flow of how the Chromebook's being used in the classroom. So again, I just want to point out again, be mindful that the school device is your learning tool. It's not something for play or an enjoyment. However, at the end of your time here at Lake Catholic, you do get to take that device with you. We'll take you off the network, and then you can, if you take care of it all 4 years, you'll be able to have a great device to take with you on to college or your next step. We do have the devices insured. They will be insured. You can bring them to us. The only thing I ask is that you make sure, as a student, that you are very honest with how it broke, because we have to file a claim. We're no judgment zone there. You come in and tell us how it broke because we have to put that on the claim itself. That's how they determine how the device can be fixed moving forward. If they have to replace it altogether, or if there's pieces and parts that can be ordered, it helps us to get organized. So don't be afraid. Come in there and say, Mr. Smith, it fell off the car while we were driving down the street. That's fine. I've heard it all, really, at this point. I'm not going to dare you to try something new, but I am going to say that we've heard a lot about what happens with some of these devices, and they're accidents. We get it. So make sure you come and see us. If you have any questions about the computer program, my email is rsmith@lakecatholic.org. You can see Mr. Peroska. He is lperoska@lakecatholic.org. Check the Lake Catholic website for our contact info. Again, welcome to Lake Catholic.
It's me again. Does this thing, wow. I'm so amazed by these microphones. Sorry everyone, I've never used a microphone before. So a lot of you are used to getting emails from me, from admissions. That is all going to change. You are no longer my admissions families. I'm sad, I'm going to miss you all, unless you have a younger kid, then you get to stay on. But you are now going to be getting the weekly bulletins from the school. So gone are the days that you need to look for my name. Start looking for Lake Catholic emails with your weekly bulletins. So this is just an example of some of the stuff that are in those. What's going on at the school each day, even on weekends, just keeping you up to date with everything that's happening in the building and everything that might apply to your child. I will probably send out like one final goodbye email from me saying that I miss you all and maybe with this PowerPoint for you. But after that, you'll be getting the school's weekly emails instead of mine, so be on the lookout for those. And if you are not receiving them, but you think you should be, let me know. Another way that you can get in touch with the school is CougarNet. So a lot of you, actually all of you now are familiar with our website and this little login button because you all had to log in to make your child's account and fill out the application. So that's another way to keep track of your student, keep up with their classes, things like that. I don't know that much about CougarNet, to be honest.
Their grades.
It is their grades, I did know that. But you will learn more about it. You will learn how to use it in the first few weeks. This is a zoom in on how to get to that login button. But yeah, so you'll get your parent access within the first few weeks of school. That'll be communicated with the parents directly. And then final forms is the other kind of online piece of things. All of you should have been notified of how to complete those final forms, and we just ask that you have those done within the next week or so if they're not already. Contact information. Sorry, Dr. Smith, I didn't put yours up here. I probably should have. So Mr. Fuller is our principal. He can handle a lot of the reopening questions, uniform questions, general what's up with your school questions. My email, you already have that saved to your favorites, but you can always follow up with me, and I'm happy to help as you start the year off. And then Karen Moffitt from our finance and tuition office. So if you have questions on your statement or anything like that, please feel free to shoot her an email. Our business office is very, very busy at the start of the year, so if she takes a few days to get back to you, don't panic. She will get to you, I promise. And then general information, if you're like, I don't know who to send this to, info@lakecatholic.org, and then we will find the right person to answer that question, and they will give you a call or an email, and we'll get it taken care of.
News is my name wasn't on that, nor was Kelly or Allison's. One of the things that we wanted to just kind of close with was hopefully the experience that you have signed up for and will be seeing is this idea of discover yourself, your faith, your future, your purpose when you become a member of the Lake Catholic family. So I have had, my wife is an alum, I've had five children went through, so I've had plenty of time to be part of the community in some of those booster clubs that Emma was talking about. But don't worry, you don't have to plan to become the president if you're working in one of our booster clubs. But the thing that we have always found is this notion of the whole student, and we kind of look at the young boys and girls that come through the halls or come through the doors in a couple days, and in 4 short years, they're going to be young men and women ready to take on the world. And there's a noted Catholic philosopher, Thomas Merton, and he says, characterize it as discover God by discovering the true, complete self. And we kind of had that notion in mind as we were trying to characterize what it is that would sum up the Lake Catholic experience and what everybody has gone through as part of this. And then the thing I've noticed after having been here, talking to a lot of alumni, is just this notion of family. What's really fun now is our kids are in their late 20s, early 30s. We're getting invited to weddings of their friends, and we're getting to reunite. It's like mini reunions with their parents who we were hanging around with when we were here at the school. So it is, the notion of a Lake Catholic family is something that's very strong. We talked to folks who are from our class in 1974, for example, our very first class, how often they get together just to share birthdays and things, because that's just part of the experience that's here. So that's kind of our promise to you as part of this. So, any questions?
In the winter months, what time do you open the building and let the kids off in when you're dropping them?
So the question is, when do we open the building in the winter? Actually, it's pretty much any time.
I can take this one.
Go ahead. When the building's open, okay, I'm just telling you.
Usually our building is open pretty early in the morning. We have some teams that work out at like 6 a.m. This year, with just making sure that all of our students are safe, we are trying to have as few people as possible enter the building before 7:30 a.m. However, if you need to drop your kid off on the way to work, if they need to be here early for some reason, email Mr. Fuller and we will coordinate a time and a drop-off location at the building with you so that we make sure they have their temperature taken and then they're in the right space so that we know where they are. Once COVID is no longer an issue, it will be earlier. It'll be probably like 6:30 a.m.
We had one over here, I saw first.
Just to piggyback off of her question, what about after-school activities? Are they able to stay in the building?
Yes, as long as they have an activity that they are staying for. We will send out a time for like general closing things up.
Okay, because if they, like, cheer doesn't start till 5 o'clock, are they able to stay in the building and do homework and stuff until cheer starts?
As of now, yes, there will be areas that they just need to stay in so that we know who's here. If that changes, we will email.
Yeah, there are some of these details that we're kind of thinking through. What does it really mean? How can we keep the kids separated? Things like that. So Yes.
Is that uniform? Just uniform?
So the picture day
Uniform
is one of the first days. The kids can dress up for that. So there should have been
The freshmen wear uniform.
Freshmen wear
guidelines.
uniforms.
Huh?
I think the freshmen wear uniform.
Can't they dress up? I thought they could dress up.
This is such a good question because it turns out we don't even know.
So it typically has been uniforms, but one of the things that MK Photography, who does it,
think it's
had
uniform.
asked was, if they can dress up, maybe a couple more of them, maybe buy some photos. So we said, sure, why not? So if the kids want to dress up, they can. And in that email was a list of just do's and don'ts
But it says for seniors
for men
on
and
it.
women, or what they
That you
could
know.
wear. Seniors, I don't think there's any seniors that are transferring in, but that's a
are
whole different
seniors
thing.
transferring
So,
Miss Paradise is going to send an email with all of the information on picture day. So you'll get all of it ahead of time, and she'll know better than us.
Okay, and then backpack. Are they supposed to bring anything with them when they come first day?
so the question is on backpack. One of the things we are still trying to just clarify, we have found clear totes. Because the part of the reason, typically backpacks would not be allowed throughout the halls. They could bring their books in, leave them in the locker, take them when they left school. Just
that
from
was easy.
just from a standpoint of gun safety, basically. We were trying to avoid that in a normal year. What we are looking at doing, because we're trying to avoid the kids going to the lockers too much and congregating,
No dresses.
was clear tote bags that we would give them.
We'll stick to the
So we
email.
ordered those so that every kid can have a clear tote bag, and then that way we can, basically you can see what's in the bag, so there's no issue there, and that they can carry books for a couple periods in there. So right now, that's, I don't think we had sent anything out yet. I think what we sent out was, we're evaluating it. Part of that evaluation is, can we get 500 tote bags? And we can. They should be here still this week. So that's probably what we will do, and that'll be part of one of the things we realize we need to do as a couple of these things get finalized, just to continue to communicate with parents about what will be happening. Yes, sir.
In the first few weeks, from a freshman perspective, how much of a disadvantage will they be at if they have to use a home desktop versus a mobile device at school?
So the question is on the disadvantage if they don't have the Chromebook. Really, shouldn't be much because it's all through the Google Classroom. The only question would be had they maybe been taking notes in class. So.
The point of clarification, so if they don't have a device at school these first 2 weeks, are they going to be at a disadvantage? Can they do all their assignments at the home?
They will be able to do all assignments through their personal device. The only question would be, maybe they might have taken notes in
It
class.
means if they're in here, right?
They'll just be taking on
He's
paper.
asking if they're in person.
But
They
all
don't need one if
assignments,
they're
all
here,
tests,
right?
all the things that we'll be doing that were normally going to be on a Chromebook would be done on the home device.
Our teachers are also aware that the Chromebooks are delayed. So if your kid is in person, they won't be put at any sort of disadvantage because it's not in the classroom with them. Our teachers will allow for that kind of adjustment period while we wait for those to come in.
Yes, ma'am. The morning bus schedule? So if you're relying on one of the public school districts, so the Lake Catholic bus. So the van drivers got together, what's today?
Tomorrow.
Today's Wednesday. Tomorrow, they're getting together tomorrow, our van drivers and our bus driver, and they're going to kind of finalize the routes and who the students are that are on them, and then they will call the families. So you should get a call, if not tomorrow, Friday, very early early next week. What? Yes, sir.
So just to clarify, with regard to the freshmen and not having Chromebooks yet, if they have a personal laptop, should they bring that or could they bring that?
So the question was if a child does not yet have the Chromebook but they have their personal device, should they bring it? And the answer, Dr. Smith says, is yes.
Thank you.
People are working from home and using a laptop, and they normally, what if the kid does not have access to it to do the homework or bring it to school, or there's a lot of kids. People working from home.
So if a person, the first things first is fill out that technology survey and let us know where you're at, and then we will adapt with each family's needs to make sure that their child is staying on top of things, that they have the access they need and they're able to access the work that they need to do. So we'll work with families on case-by-case basis with their technology needs for these first few weeks.
Yeah, the fun part about ordering the Chromebooks, I think we're on actually our third order with a different vendor, just because as we were promised delivery and then maybe not so much, went to a second, went to a third, and so they should be here. Yes, ma'am.
When did the technology survey go out?
So there was an email, the question was, when did the technology survey go out for all of our people who are virtually here? So there was one sent out like last week from the school. Oh, it was just from me, last week, in the admissions newsletter. If you would like me to resend it, send me an email and I will. It was the one with the broken link, the first one I sent, and then I sent it again and said this link works, if you remember that email.
So I understand that the freshmen are getting Chromebooks, but what about at the beginning? What about transfer students?
So the question was, will transfer students have Chromebooks when they begin? And the answer is yes. Any other questions?
Regarding lunches, are the kids gonna be able to, they bring their lunch, are they able to use the microwaves?
Yes. So
So-
what we'll do is put wipes there, and then so they can just clean it up before they use it.
And the question that was answering was, if they bring a lunch, can they use the microwave? For all of you at home.
I'm still putting that in a document to send out to the faculty and staff. There was, I thought there was another one. Yes.
With regards to winter weather, is there a local school district that you follow as far as if there's a calamity day or not?
Mr. Fuller has the wonderful task of not sleeping well the night it looks like there's going to be a storm. He tries to just gauge what's happening. Mentor can be a big influence because if it's bad for Mentor, then it's going to be bad for us. So that has tended to, we've gone pretty quickly with them. But there's been other times where other areas have gotten worse snow and we thought it might be a problem. But probably will be aligned with Mentor, but he just tries to take a look at the whole picture. And the apps that predict whether there's a snow day, they're not really that good. Just pop that bubble right now if any of your kids are downloading that app. Okay. If there's any others as you're leaving, feel free, we'll stick around for a few minutes. But thank you very much for coming. Welcome to Lake
Thanks,
Catholic.
everyone.
It's not right. They still have it under GI, and this is a complete, when I looked this morning, there's a completely different schedule on CougarNet.
So they weren't updated until like 5 o'clock today. So see if this is on CougarNet. If not, you'll just need to submit the form, and her guidance counselor can switch them.